What's up, beautiful people? You already know this is. This your boy Levar, aka Ramzie, the editor-in-chief of Snubb3d Magazine. And today we have a special guest on the sit down. Many of you know how the sit down goes. You know that I don't introduce myself. My guests introduce themselves. So without further ado, I'm gonna let my guests go ahead and introduce themselves.
What's going on, man? What's up, world? This is James Artissen, Grammy-nominated producer, songwriter, recording artist, label owner. We wear a lot of hats over here, but blessed to be on your platform, man.
Definitely, definitely. Thank you for coming to the platform. I greatly appreciate it. We're gonna jump right into it. So, as far as how did this all begin for you? Like, what was this journey like growing up as a child? Many of us have different plethora of stories. I know for me, I grew up in the church, so the church pretty much brought me into it, and then I kind of like went, did my own thing. But what was growing up for you and stepping into the entertainment world?
Oh man, short answer form. I'm from Queens, New York. So I've always been around the arts and entertainment pretty much my whole life. I've always been a fan of music my whole life. It's been in the house, it's been, around the neighborhood, wherever I could go, it's there, right?
Right,
And all genres too. So not just hip hop and R&B, but house music, dance music, techno music, electronic, country, pop, whatever it was, it was
right,
just music, right? So I always say like it was always like the kind of inevitable thing for me to want to be into the music business or entertainment because not only was I around it, but I loved it. And it was something that was just kind of innate in me. So once I kind of made a decision to say, hey, I think music is, my path and it's something that I really, really want to do, I just never looked back. And even like into more detail, I always tell this story. When I was 11 years old, I got a chance to meet Michael Jackson,
Mm,
and that was the moment that really sealed the deal. Like,
right,
okay, if I can meet
right,
Michael, which is one of my idols,
right.
I know this is the path I need to be going down, and that
Definitely.
was kind of it.
Definitely. And I think that's something, a lot of people don't understand when you are in this entertainment world. Sometimes even being around those icons and seeing certain things, like you grab sometimes inspiration and just like or just see their push and their drive and you're like, you know what? I want to get to that type of level. I want to see what it's, or it pushes a fire in you to your creative juices on top of that. Um,
Yeah.
So when we look at your music, for me, when I look at it, it blends with dreamy, stylish, atmosphere themes. And like you said, like your creativeness, at the beginning, you already through a plethora of things that you've already, hit the plateau of. Where do you think this all came from, and what inspired you to push through? Because we know that in this entertainment world, it can be sometimes tough. And there's some days where we don't want to do it, and we're like, you know
Yeah.
what, I'm tired, like I'm good. But where does that inspiration come from to keep on pushing?
Well, I think I've always been a go-getter and I've always been an optimistic person and a very driven type of person. So
Right,
I never let it other people's opinions or other people's ideas of what I should be doing taint what my vision was. Because I've always had a vision from a very young age to always tell myself, hey, I want to be a mogul.
right,
Like that was my whole thing. I want to be a mogul. I want to be somebody that's influential. I want to be someone that someone looks up to. And not to say that they have to agree with everything that I do or say, or it's not to say that they have to implement everything that I do or say, but it gives someone at least some type of motivation or inspiration to follow their dream and do what you want to do. Because, I've never been the one that wanted to play the political games when it comes to the music business or entertainment. Like I did things my way. I did it, how I wanted to do it, when I wanted to do it, and that's a luxury. And,
yeah,
unfortunately, everybody doesn't have that luxury. But, I'm blessed to say that I've been able to do it at a high level. And that's kind of where it started from, like just having that mindset and
right,
then having enough gumption and enough drive and will to say, hey, I'm gonna get it going and I'm gonna do it no matter what.
yeah.
And I'm never gonna stop. And that's what it's always been.
Definitely. And we're seeing that like even with this with the music space that we're in right now, and you're seeing it evolving in a digital era. I mean, you said you had met Michael Jackson and everything like that. So you've seen and you worked in this arena for a while. So you've seen us go from cassettes to tapes to CDs to
Right.
all you've seen the whole plethora of it. And now that we're entering like a more digital world, how do you see your artistry and pushing the boundaries in hip hop and R&B and even in pop generations for like the new listeners?
Well, like you said, it's been so many transitions
Yeah,
through the years of music consumption and, how people connect with other people, especially artists, how they connect with people all around the world.
right.
It was totally different years ago and
Yeah.
decades ago, so I think now it's just a situation of people have more tools
Right,
and more opportunity to connect with other people in different facets, whether good or bad. But you just have to use it to your advantage and take it with a grain of salt. But also too, specifically for me, when it comes to the music side of it, I'm just always a person that stays creative and tries to stay innovative with music. So I don't really try to stay stagnant in a one style or a one sound or
yeah,
a one way of thinking of creating music. Like music has no boundaries.
right,
So that's why, most people can see me bounce from hip hop and R&B to dance house to pop to Afrobeat. Like, it's just something that feels good to me. I always make music that feels good to me
right.
before anybody else hears it. And then, of course, it's a blessing when the masses love it too. But,
Okay.
it all starts with you.
Yeah. And I think that speaks volume because I think sometimes people get so caught up in what's trending and not what they would like. You know what I'm saying? Like I
Yeah.
think all the time, like if I see certain things with even with the publication, I'll see something, I'm like, that's not us. Like, I'm sorry, we can't do it. And they're like, no, but it's trending right now. And I'm like, it wouldn't push the same way. I was like, people know when things are authentic and people know when things are being faked. Like
Yeah.
people just be
Yeah.
like, oh, wait a minute, something ain't right. And you spoke up on that, and I think that can be challenging too. Even you jumping from different genres, that already speaks on the creativity and the mindset of a creative. What was it like for you the moment you heard that you were Grammy nominated? What can you take us back to that moment when you thought about when you found out that you were Grammy nominated? Because many
Yeah.
artists look forward to that moment or just even hearing their name come up in those rooms. What was that like for you the first time you were Grammy nominated?
Um, it was kind of crazy because, for one, I didn't expect it, but then number two, it was kind of like a bittersweet thing to where like I
Mm.
didn't expect it, but then also it was kind of like about time.
Right, right. No, I
Because
get
we put in
it.
all this work and
Right,
we grind and X, Y, and Z. And it's just like,
right.
when you finally get to that moment and it's just like, okay, it's worth it.
Yeah,
It's paying off and all of that. So, that was the first point of it. But I remember like I think I was sitting in like a Red Lobster or something with my manager at the time, and we were just kind of going over different stuff and strategy. And um, she got a call from somebody at the Recording Academy just to kind of let her know, like, hey, this project that I was nominated on, which was a Justin Bieber project, um, was going to be considered for the nomination. And I'm like, okay, that's freaking amazing,
right.
but it wasn't official yet, but at least they
Right.
gave us like a heads up. And then, towards the award show, officially, that's when they told us, okay, yeah, he got the Grammy nomination. And I was like, wow, it's just like freaking crazy.
Yeah.
Like I didn't even really know how to feel at first. I'm like, wow, because this is new territory. So,
Right.
you're just trying to process it. But after that, it was just kind of like a battery in my back, like,
Yeah.
just to keep going and getting, bigger records and working with more artists that I've, been wanting to work with and just getting in the bigger circles and, X, Y, and Z. And that's pretty much what happened. So I just kept going from there. And Been nominated for other records, after that. So it's just been great.
I think you said something when you was like it's about time, you know. And some people don't understand that sometimes you could be pushing for so many things and you know these are great projects or you know something is big and sometimes it gets overlooked or sometimes it's
Yeah.
up to certain people's standards and you're like, come on now, really? But it's not that timing yet for you to get in those spaces, you know. With all the collaborations that you've done, you have a plethora of collaborations and people you've worked with. Um, how do you balance the creative side and the business side of yourself in this music industry?
That's a good question. My take on that would be like it depends on the type of person you are. Like if you are a person that is like an attention type of person
Right.
or, clickbaity, I guess, kind of person,
Right.
then the balance is going to be off because to me, there's no real intention of the authenticity of what you're doing. You're just doing stuff just to do it.
Right.
But for me, I love music. I love art. So I'm doing it in the purest form I possibly can because it's what I love to do. That's my bread and butter and that's just what I've always loved. So I'm always gonna keep a balance of I'm gonna protect my art, but then also I'm going to conduct business a certain way in order to protect that art
Right.
and anybody that I deal with. And that's another piece too, is I just don't deal with anybody either.
Right. Right.
So, you
You
got
gotta
to pick and
protect
choose
you
your
gotta protect
battles.
your peace. You know, you gotta
Yeah, you got to protect your peace, you got to protect your brand, you got to
Yeah.
protect everything, and not everybody can be a part of that.
Definitely. With all the collaborations that you've already done, is there someone on your list that you're like, you know what, I haven't worked with yet, but this is someone that like I would love to work with or do any type of business relationship in the music industry?
Yeah, there's quite a few. Big fan of like Miguel and The
Mhm.
Weeknd. Haven't worked with Chris Brown yet. Shout out to Chris. Actually, we got some in the pipeline, so hopefully that comes out soon.
Listen, it's
But
gonna happen. It's gonna
yeah, yeah, man. Come on, Chris, let's get it going, bro.
happen.
um, man, there's a lot, man. Shoot, big Kanye fan, Frank Ocean fan. Shoot, like the Gorillas, Maroon 5, Evanescence. Like, there's so many different styles of artists.
Right. And like I said, every time like you speak, like you've named a plethora of genres. I don't think whenever we ever had to sit down, anybody has really like brought up any other genres. You know what I'm saying? Like Maroon 5, that was something, even when sometimes like when I'm in my creative space, sometimes I'll listen to them or like the collab they did with Rihanna. Like I'll be like just doing certain things like, okay, like it just opens your mind when you have different genres and you're in different spaces. So I think
Yeah,
I gotta give you credit for that because that's
thank
not
you.
something you always see, you know? It's not something you always see. We do a thing on the sit down. We have these last three questions for you. The first question is, what are three words that best describe who you are as an individual?
Mm, three words. Um, I would say eclectic. I would say passionate and euphoric.
You said you said some different ones. Okay. We're going to take one of them. Why did you let's go with the first one, eclectic. Why did you pick that one?
I picked that because my music taste and my music style. Um, because most probably wouldn't be as bold as me as far as collaborations and style goes.
Right.
Because we all know, like most people, they go for, like you said before, the most popular or what's trending. But for me, I go with who I like, whether
Yeah.
whether they're trending or not. It's to me, it's just about the music.
Right.
And then it's about the quality and the style of it. So
Yeah.
again, whether if I'm working with with a pop artist or a dance artist, EDM or whatever have you, it has to feel good at the end of the day, you
Definitely.
know? So that's why I would say eclectic, because it just is it really just comes down to the style and sound selection.
Right. Definitely. If there's anyone past or present whose shoe you could put on for one day, who would you want to do and why?
Ooh, man. That's a crazy one.
Uh-huh. I told you he was gonna switch it up on
Mm.
Sir.
Yeah, that's kind of wild in a sense, like I would probably like say Michael, for example, but I wouldn't want to be in his shoes because he was the most famous person on the planet.
Right,
And that pressure and et cetera is like something that you probably couldn't even fathom.
right.
And I don't think I would want to fathom that.
No, I get that.
You know, so
It's funny
that
that you
that's a
say that.
crazy one, man. But I mean, I would probably say somebody like a Kanye.
Okay.
I would just for a day. I would want to see the day in the life of him, because I've always thought he was a very, very, again, eclectic person, but a very interesting person
Mhm.
because of the way he thinks and his ideologies and the way his mind works creatively. I've always admired that.
Definitely. I said the same thing before when it came down to like the whole thing with whenever we ask this question and people are like, I would want to be in that person's shoe, but then I'm like, wait a minute now. Like we don't know what happened that day. We don't know what was going through their head. We don't know all the sceneries we would see at those moments. And yeah, I think that's a pivotal thing to say when you talk about those situations.
Yeah,
And definitely Kanye. Like I think that his mind is creative when he does certain things. Like when you even just see like some of his writings or even like his way he expresses it on camera when it comes down his videos and like the creativeness that comes through it. So I can definitely agree on that. And
definitely.
then the final question for you is, um, whether or not you know it, you are a role model to many. So we don't sign up for it in this industry, but we become those things.
Definitely.
And what do you say to those individuals that are, watching this or later on, who knows, wherever they may see it? What do you say to those individuals like, you know what, I see what he's doing and I know where he's going. I want to get there. How can I get there? What are some inspirational words you can give to those people?
I always tell people I live by this quote that one of my mentors gave me years ago, and it's pretty simple but really, really powerful. And what that is you have to learn from people that are way better than you. Because if you don't, then you're just gonna keep being in the rat race with
Right.
everybody else. And of course, that's not what you want. So you want to learn from somebody that's done it at a higher level, at a better level, and etc. And not only learn from them, but use that information and those experiences to your advantage. You know what
Right.
I'm saying? And not to say that you have to be exactly like them, but
Yeah.
you have to just take it and use it properly
Yeah.
is what I'm saying. And also, you got to do this for the right reasons. Like, if this is something that you just want to make money off of, or you just want to be famous, or you want to get clout or popularity or what have you, fine. But it's not gonna last you very long.
Right.
It's a very low shelf life.
Yeah.
But if you're doing it for the right reason, this is something that you love to do, eventually it's gonna break through.
Definitely. I tell people, and that's funny you said it because we just had the live version of the sit down with our whole panel, and I literally said on the panel, um, I walk into rooms where I'm sometimes considered the least qualified, and the ceiling is so much higher. I don't like being sometimes in those rooms where I'm the ceiling. I've already
Yeah.
surpassed that because it makes it challenging for myself, and it pushes me into another level and another extreme. And even though it may feel uncomfortable or I may not look like I should be in the room, I'm in that room for a reason. So that's crazy that you touched on that, and that was aligning right there. That you're saying that in this moment, because I think some people forget that, we get like so comfortable in our comfort zones that we forget that, like, no, we're trying to go higher. So you need to be in rooms where you're not the ceiling, and
Yeah.
look all around you. If it looks too comfortable, sometimes you need to go even more
Yeah. Yeah.
higher.
You have to step out your comfort zone.
Yeah,
That's the only way you thrive.
definitely.
And sometimes we have to nudge ourselves to get out of the comfort zone because it's easy to become complacent. It's easy to get lazy. It's easy to just kind of stay in the same spot, over and over. And it's like, where's the growth?
Yeah,
Where's the elevation? Where's anything that people can be inspired from if they've seen it already? You
yeah,
know?
definitely.
So I would definitely say that too.
Definitely. Well, I want to thank you for chatting with us. Is there anything else you want to tell everybody that's watching, any projects that you have coming up, what to look out for, how they can follow you, anything of that nature?
Definitely. So currently right now I'm working on my debut album for 2026. Really excited about that. Most people already thought that I'll drop albums already, but those are
Right.
just EPs. So this is my debut album, so I'm super excited about that. Shout out to Third Eye Recordings and Universal Music Group. The album will be going through them, so I'm super excited about that. And shout out to my label imprint, Humble Sound Records. We're just continuing to grow and thrive. Shout out to all the artists on the roster. And yeah, stay tuned. Follow me all social media at James Artissen. Go to the website as well, www.jamesartissen.com. And make sure you subscribe to the YouTube channel, youtube.com/James Artissen.
Definitely, definitely. Well, wow, like I said, I want to thank you for coming on the platform and speaking with us today. Hopefully, someday in the future, you know how this industry is, someday in the future we'll run into each other actually in
Absolutely.
person. Who knows what we may have something in the works in the future,
Definitely.
see about a cover or something, but we definitely
Let me know, man. I would be
right.
humbled and gracious to grace your cover, man. You do a great job.
I appreciate it, bro. And like I said, just whatever you have coming up, we're gonna be looking forward to that album. Like you said, it's your debut one, so we gotta make it big for you, you know what I'm saying? And support
Absolutely,
our
man.
brother here. So I definitely appreciate you coming and keep
Thank
doing
you.
what you're doing. It's very inspirational to us.
Thank you, man. And thank you for having me on your platform too, man. I appreciate it.
Definitely, definitely.